So I was very lucky recently to score a copy of Lost Ruins of Arnak in a trade. But when I opened up the game, this is what I saw. Now I'm not faulting the person who I picked this up from in a trade in any way. All of the components are here, everything is well taken care of, and everything is well organized, but it's just a mess of baggies. And I knew that setup and cleanup every single time I played this game was going to be a real hassle. So the first thing I did was immediately jump online and search for an insert for Lost Ruins of Arnak. Now if you've seen my channel before, you've probably seen some of my reviews of inserts from a company called the Shipshape Gamer. And if you've watched any of those reviews, you know how much I really enjoy their inserts. So of course I went to their website to see if they had anything for Arnak. And what do you know, not only did they have something for Lost Ruins of Arnak, but it's an officially licensed insert, which means they've even got artwork from CGE to make it look even better. So I reached out to Shipshape Gamer, and I am very excited to have been able to score a copy for review. And now I'd love to show you exactly how this improves the sort of storage and setup for Lost Ruins of Arnak. So let me go ahead and set up the insert inside the box, and I'll meet you back here to show you how it fits into the box, how it holds all the components, and what I think about the insert in general. Alright, so here we are, the box with the insert already inside. The boards and books go on top, so let me take all that stuff out first so you can see how the insert fits inside. But already I hope you can see it's not just a big mess of baggies. So first the books on top, the player boards, the game board. And now you can already start to see some of the insert. You'll see here that the bottom half of the board actually fits in between the two sort of sections of the insert with another smaller section underneath. So here I've got this sort of round marker, player aids, the score sheet. Now let me take out the other board and you can see exactly how everything fits in. So again, as I mentioned, there is a bit of a recessed area on this sort of center spot that second board extension fits perfectly inside of and doesn't rattle around too much in the box. Now, beyond that, I hope you can already see how gorgeous this insert looks. Everything is labeled, showing exactly what goes in every section of the box. These are the card boxes here. I'll show you how those work in just a minute. And then you've got this sort of long box here that keeps all the big tiles for the board, and I'll show you that in a second too. But just the artwork on this, as I mentioned, this one is an officially licensed insert, so they did get some official artwork from the game, and it just looks really, really cool. So let me start taking out the pieces, and I'll show you what everything is. Alright, so to start, we're going to work from this end of the box, just because things are very tightly fit into this box, and you can't really pull out any of the big stuff until you start removing any of the small stuff. I wouldn't call that a negative because it really does hold everything nice while it's stored. It's just worth mentioning that you should sort of start with the smaller things because they'll come out a lot easier than the bigger things. So starting over here, this box says Archaeologist, and this is where I keep all the wooden pieces in. You'll see there's not really a track that the lid fits into, but there's these tabs here. And there's squeezy tabs on the side. It's kind of hard to see because it's clear acrylic, but there's a squeezy tab on the side, and then there's these edge tabs that fit underneath these cutouts in the wood. So it doesn't like slide in on a track, but when you get it in the right place, and it's hard because I'm trying to do this from behind a camera, but it will click in very nicely. And it is very, very sturdy. Nothing's going to come out of these boxes in the box. And like I said, it did look a little tricky for me to get in there, but I promise you it's not. It's just because I'm trying to do this with my arms around a camera. So that's where the archaeologists go. In this box here, you've got the temple tiles and the reserve tiles. I also put those like wave tiles that cover over the second worker placement spot when you're playing with fewer people in these boxes. Now, I haven't really shown you how these go together. Everything in the Shipshape Gamer inserts are all snap to fit, and it's really, really, really pretty amazing. He's got these sort of like tabs that have these lines cut into them. So when they go in here, they kind of get squeezed together, but because they're split, they push back out, and just that pressure alone holds these boxes. And these boxes are, I think, sturdier than anything I've put together, even with glue in other inserts. So I'm really, really happy with the sturdiness of these boxes. Next, I've got the idle tiles and the research bonus tiles. In here are the assistant tiles and the rival actions. So when you're playing the solo game, these are the AI tiles. Now, I'll show you in a minute, the card boxes have holes on the bottom to push things through. These don't. And for the most part, for the smaller boxes, I don't really mind them. But this one, because these rival tiles fit in here perfectly, it would have been nice to have a hole there. But realistically, it's not that hard to turn it over and just spill them out, because you're going to need to take them all out to play anyway. And see, there you go. That one's slotted in a whole lot easier than the first one I showed you. And again, it holds things really, really nicely in here. It's not going to come out, even if you store this vertically on your shelf. It really holds everything very, very nicely. And again, the font matches the game font because it is a licensed insert. I just love the look of this thing as well. Now, this whole next row is just the different resources from the game. So I'm just going to look at them quickly. They're all the same slide boxes that I showed you before for everything else. They are all labeled with what go inside. Now, you will see the boxes are pretty big and there's not a whole lot inside them. It could have been smaller, but honestly, the way that it's designed, it holds everything really well and it fits super snug in the box. So I understand why they were designed that way. And realistically, I can pull off the lid, stick it on the board just like that, and you can play in and out of these things and not have any issue whatsoever taking the pieces out. So I like the design. Whether or not you like the extra space used in the box for something else you might want to put in the box, that's, you know, a preference thing. But I think they're really, really, really cool. Again, here are the arrowheads. Again, fairly empty box, but it does the job and it fills the space perfectly. Tablets. Compasses. Coins. Now the rest of this is all the cards and tiles, and these I really like. Again, I said I really, really, really like the artwork on these card boxes. And these card boxes are something new. I haven't seen this in any of the inserts that I've seen before, but these are actually dual layer or two different pieces. It's got a lid on them, which is really cool. And as I mentioned, there's a hole in the bottom of the box, so you can push the cards out and get them out really, really easily for gameplay. There are 3 of them, so I've got items in one, the artifacts in the other, and then this box here has all the player starting decks and all the fear cards in it. But again, they're really, really nice. They push to fit very well. Now, the one, I don't want to say big negative because the design ended up working really, really, really well. But when I was building these boxes, and it specifically says this in the instructions, so this is my fault as well. But when you're pushing to fit, this small piece of wood right here is incredibly weak. So before I put this bottom piece on and I was building the sides, I squeezed like this and instantly both of these folded out and cracked. Let's see if I can find the one that actually has the crack. Yeah, you can see in this one right here, if you look carefully, it's split right there. And same thing over here, it's split right there. But because of this sort of push to fit design and the way that the pressure of that tab is filling those holes, even with the split, this is incredibly sturdy. And I don't see any reason that it's a problem whatsoever. I did reach out to the Shipshape Gamer and they were willing to replace the pieces. So I should mention that the customer service there is wonderful. So don't take this as any kind of knock to the quality or the customer service. Again, the instructions did say be extremely careful when assembling these because they are, you know, very skinny and very weak pieces until put together. But again, this just shows testament to the engineering strength of these boxes that even with that split piece, everything is incredibly, you know, sturdy and holds together really, really, really well. So I think that's, yeah, again, something to look out for, but also a very strong positive as far as the design and the construction of these boxes. Now, one other thing that I do want to mention, and this is, again, something you may have your own problem with, but some of the cover, this artwork is sort of heat transferred on apparently, and some of it seems to be peeling off. I think I may have banged a little too hard when I was building these lids, but you can see on some of the artwork, yeah, this one here is separated a little bit. Now again, Shipshape Gamer has mentioned that he would replace the piece for me, and that's great. But I think just a little bit of glue, or actually when I was speaking to them, they said that because these are heat applied, if I put a t-shirt on and I run over it with a warm iron, it should reactivate the glue and reseal it anyway. So I'm going to try that out, and if it does work, I will post below in the comments the results of that. But honestly, it's still pretty well attached. I just, for quality of life, looking forward many, many years, if you are keeping this game, long term, that's something that you should know about. But again, honestly, the quality of the construction and the engineering and the design of these is still really, really, really awesome. Now finally, there's this last long box. If I'm going to complain about anything about this design, it's this box. And not because it's badly designed. Again, the engineering on this is wonderful. The artwork on this is wonderful. The sturdiness of this construction is wonderful. The only problem with this one is the lid, as you can see, is pushed to fit, which means it fits really well and it works really well. But the problem is it works a little bit too well, because getting into this box is not the easiest thing in the world to do. You can see it takes a little bit of effort, but it does open up. And in here, I've got the tiles, level 1 and level 2 tiles, and the monsters, or whatever they're called, that you fight at the temples or at the worker placement spots in the game. This little bag here, this isn't part of the game. I threw this in here for the solo campaign. You need some markers, so I just threw these in here so I have them for the solo campaign. And here's the first player marker stuck in here. Yeah, I mean, that's it for the insert. But as I showed you, it fits really, really, really well in the box. As is true with all the Shipshape Gamer inserts, everything is pushed to fit. I didn't use a single drop of glue on any of this. It's super sturdy. I don't have any problems with the construction, with the strength. And again, all I had to do was squeeze, give it a little pound with a mallet, to make sure all the joints were fully connected. And yeah, I love these Shipshape inserts. And so long as he keeps making these amazing inserts, I will continue to check them out and continue to use them in my games. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was helpful. And again, if you're looking for something to put into your Arnak box and you have a little bit of money to spend on something nice, I strongly recommend this Shipshape Gamer insert for the Lost Ruins of Arnak. Now, one thing I didn't mention before I go is I don't have my cards sleeved, but I hope you could see inside those card boxes. There's a lot of space in here. It will hold the cards from the expansion, and I would imagine, I don't know 100% for sure, but I would imagine you have no problem sleeving the cards in this insert as well. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for your decision making as far as the insert for Arnak goes. If you did, please like and subscribe below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.